Good evening, traders. Zach here with the Trading Network. I hope you guys are doing well. It is Sunday, October 1st, and it is time for yet another weekly market profile forecast. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, first and foremost, welcome to the Trading Network. What we do in this video series is we discuss key levels moving forward into the week for ES and NQ futures. By the end of this video, you guys will have, once again, major levels to, at the very least, keep an eye on, but more likely, base trades off of, base risk off of, and areas that you can use as technical invalidation levels or key inflection points moving forward. So as you will see, I am going to be utilizing both the session and weekly market profile charts to show you guys prior daily highs, point of controls, value areas, weekly highs and lows, point of controls, and things of that nature. And we will also take a look at the weekly candlestick charts, so you will have a great idea of what to look for and what we might have in store this coming week for ES and NQ. So without any further delay, let's hop into the charts here, and we will start with the NQ session profile. Alrighty, so let us waste no time. We're going to dive right into the NQ session profile here. Market just opened up a couple of hours ago, and you can see our new overnight session here is Sunday into Monday's overnight session. So currently, in the last 2 hours, just to be clear here, we've traded up to 14,998, down to 14,934, and we are sitting currently right around 14,960. What I'm going to be looking at moving forward into tomorrow's regular trading hours session is going to be the reaction to these levels in New York session, or from Friday's New York session. So this pink profile here, this is Friday's New York session. This is Friday's high up here at 1560, Friday's low down here at 14,811. Friday's point of control, for those of you guys not familiar, the point of control is where the most trading activity took place in the session here. So that's 14,896. And then we have the value area from 14,961 down to 14,821, which indicates the area where 70% of the business was done, or the trading activity took place for that session. So when you see these blue levels, the high blue levels, value area high, the low blue level is value area low, and this is once again where the majority of the trading took place in the session. So you can see value area from last Thursday here, the 28th, is between 943 and 783. So if we were to do the same thing, basically, you can see here's the value area from Thursday, and value was pretty much entirely overlapping. We did have value move up a little bit, which does, lean towards the bullish side, but we will get into a bit of that speculatory stuff a little later into this video. So what I will be looking for, once again, upon open tomorrow is reaction to these levels. So let's say we do open up right here tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'm very likely going to be watching reaction to 14,960. If we can move and hold above 14,960, I'll be looking for a move to 15,010. And if we can move and hold above 15,010, I would look for a retest of Friday's high at 15,060. That is quite literally how simple using market profile can be on a foundational level if you're just using the market profile levels themselves. Now, if we can't hold above 14,960, then I would be looking first and foremost for a move down to 14,940. That's the value area high, and also very close to, once again, Thursday's high from last week. And if that can't hold as support, guess where we're likely going? Down to Friday's point of control, 14,896. If that breaks, we're likely going here. If that breaks, this is a very important area. If 821 breaks, this is a key spot here. You can see it was Wednesday's high, 14,821, and it ended up being Friday's value area low, and only 10 points above the low on Friday. So you can see basically Wednesday's high flipped to Friday's low. That's pretty darn bullish. So this area, if we get down here, that's going to be a very, very important inflection point. And if we break this, we're likely to see some lower levels back down into these low points that we visited last week. So that is going to be my view moving forward for NQ. Really just keeping it simple. If you guys never watch any of these videos ever again, but you use market profile and you want to prepare for the week ahead, or you want to prepare for Monday, look at Friday's levels. Look at Friday's high, look at Friday's low, look at Friday's value high and low, and look at Friday's POC, and that will give you a great guide. And just, to be clear here, if we move and hold above this Friday's high, very likely moving to higher levels that we were seeing the second to last week of September. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to the NQ weekly profile. We'll discuss some larger tick frame, time frame levels, and we will keep going. Okay, so here we have the NQ weekly market profile chart. So each one of these profiles represents 1 week of regular trading hours price action, okay? So this was the highest price traded last week in RTH. This is the lowest price traded last week in RTH. This is the value area high from the prior week, 15,461. Also ended up being the high. This is the value area low. See, it's very, very similar to the session profiles we were just looking at, basically, except there is no initial balance because the initial balance is simply the opening 60 minutes of every intraday profile. So what I'm going to be looking at is this 960 level, once again, that I was talking about. That 960 level was very key, 950, 960. It's going to be very important. Once again, that was Thursday's high, 947, but it's also the value area high from last week, okay? So if we can move and hold above 956, very likely to get a move to, of course, 976 as a pit stop, and then 15,060, which was last week's high. That was Friday's high, right? So the highest price traded last week was the high from Friday's session. You can also see that we have a liquidity void in this profile here, which means that we did not do any business in this area this week, the week of September 18th, in the regular trading hours session. So this means that if price can move back above this 15,060 level, it is going to be easier for price to kind of chew through these prices, is how I like to think about it, right? So there's low liquidity here. There is a liquidity void. There's weak structure, poor structure, however you want to view it, right? And poor structure means that price did not spend a lot of time there. This is a TPO chart, right? Time price opportunity. You can see that these bell curve areas, that is where price spent a lot of time and did a lot of business, where there are a lot of prints, where there are a lot of blocks, right? But you can see we have double prints, we have no prints here, right? Then we go into double prints, there's one triple, and then we have singles, and then stop the double prints right here around 15,250, okay? So here is my thesis for the week moving forward. If we can move above 15,060, that is going to get us into this area where there's not a lot of liquidity. That means that the way that I think about it is there's not a lot of orders to hold price down or to keep price in this area. So if price moves back up through here, it's going to be quite easy comparatively to, moving through something like this. It's going to be easier, much easier for price to move through something like this where there's not a lot of orders there. And I would be looking for a move basically from 15,060 to find its way up to 15,250. Okay, so that would be my upside thesis. We also have a naked point of control, 15,366. That means that we have never traded back up to 15,366 since this POC was established. And look at this confluence, my friends. You guys want to see some amazing confluence? Check this out. Point of control from the week of September 18th, 15,366. Weekly low from the week of September 11th, 15,356. Weekly low and value area low from the week of September 4th, 15,354. This is a major, major level. And if we can move above 15,366 in this week, I would look for further upside, probably at least another 100 points up to that prior high, 15,460. And then if that breaks to the upside, we've got another POC, a naked POC from the week of September 11th at 15,551. So I'm not getting biased in one direction yet because we have to wait and see what price does, but this is going to be a great guideline, and I have a really good feeling there's going to be a lot of great setups, whatever direction price decides to take. So on the downside, on that note, if we can't move and hold above 14,956, 14,960, I'll be looking for a move back down to 14,866, 14,841. And if this, we could consider this a little weekly zone here between 840 and 865-ish, right? And if that breaks, that is likely going to open up a 100-plus point move to the downside back to last week's value area low around 14,700, okay? So that is kind of my thought process for the week moving forward. Those are the levels that I am going to be keeping in mind. That is the analysis and the if-then scenarios, if you will, that I'm going to be keeping in mind. And just you guys should be keeping in mind how simple and how easy, I hate to use that word when referring to anything in trading, but how easy it can really be to have a plan that you can repeat like standard operating procedures using market profile, doing exactly what I do in these videos every single week and exactly what we do every single day when we release our daily market profile trade plans. So if you guys aren't familiar, every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern time for our private community, we release our daily market profile trade plans. We release those publicly 30 minutes after the open at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Instagram, Facebook, our website, and pretty much anywhere you can find TTN social media activity. And you guys, I would greatly encourage to, if you're not familiar with those trade plans, join the Facebook group or, check them out on Instagram or on our website and go and backtest them. You can also grab the trade plan URL from the link that we post, and you can change the date in the URL. So you can go back and view old trade plans for, a year plus. Go back test them and see how well these levels play out. If you have NinjaTrader, pull up one of our trade plans. This is what I would suggest. I do this with my mentorship students. Pull up one of our trade plans. Pick a random day, last month, July, June, doesn't even matter. Pick a random day, download that day on playback, and watch how price reacts to those levels in real time when you're watching it on playback and following along with our trade plan. It is it's pretty damn cool, to say the least. So without getting on to big of a tangent here, let's flip over to ES session profile. We'll start there for the S&P futures. We'll work our way over to the weekly profile and do the same for the weekly bar charts, and we'll get you guys out of here with some good levels to trade off of. All right, now it is time for some ES. So very, very similar. I'll keep it short because I gave you guys the rundown other than the levels themselves, but I'm looking at Friday's levels. I'm looking at the reaction to Friday's value. If we can move up and hold above Friday's value high, which is very close to Thursday's value and Thursday's high, looking for moves to 43.60, 43.70, and move and hold above 43.70 likely gets us moving to 81, 89, and then 4,400. We've got two naked POCs to the upside on ES as well. That is, very dense areas of liquidity that price will gravitate towards if it has already found the liquidity it was seeking on the downside. And that is really the name of this game in general. Where is the liquidity? Where is price trying to move to grab that liquidity, and how well of a job is it doing that? And those are questions that you can ask yourself. I would highly recommend asking yourself those questions, and it's probably going to be a bit of a guessing game at first, but especially if you combine, these questions with market profile analysis, reading our trade plans, things of that nature, you will really start to get a feel for how price seeks out liquidity at prior market profile levels and then moves to other prior market profile levels to seek liquidity on the other side. So what I'm getting at here is it is a game of where big players are needing to see price to fill their orders, right? Let's say that large players up at 4,400 want to move price or believe that price is going to 4,500 soon, right? But if they need to fill, $100 million worth of orders, they're not just going to be able to market buy and fill their orders without, really moving price up and essentially messing up their average entry, right? So there is a world, we live in a world where large players at 4,400 or 4,450 know that price needs to come down to 4,275 in order for them to fill their $100 million worth of orders. So price moves down to an area where there's enough liquidity to fill those orders, and then it moves back up to the next level to, once again, fill more liquidity. Keep these three words in mind, my friends. Price seeks liquidity. Ask yourself, when you are trading, to keep yourself technically minded, where is price trying to move and how well of a job is it doing that? That is a key factor in Mind Over Markets, the Market Profile Bible, that if you guys ask this question repeatedly, where is the next zone of liquidity? Where are the very clear swing highs and swing lows where stop losses are sitting above and below? And if price breaks either side of those stop losses, where is the next area of liquidity that price is likely to move? That, or move to, rather. That is what you should be asking yourself and experimenting with consistently, and you will gain confidence in your ability to read the markets and execute based on your reads more than I can even put into words at the moment. But that is where I would suggest, at the very least, you guys start to get a feel for how this, theory of liquidity, market auction theory, really does work. So once again, just to recap here, really going to be looking at Friday's high and low. If you want to keep it very, very simple, if we can move and hold above 43.71, look for some upside moves, 43.90, 4,400, and very likely higher if we get accepted above those levels. And if we, open up on the lower end of Friday's profile, look for reactions, to 43.27, 43.11. If those levels break, for example, let's say we open up here, 43.32. We open up here tomorrow morning in New York session and we break 43.27. Well, our first downside target is probably going to be Friday's low, 43.11. If that breaks, our next downside target is probably going to be 43.01, which is Thursday's low. If that breaks, Wednesday's value low at 42.96 and a quarter. If that breaks, Wednesday's low, 42.77. Pretty darn simple. The hardest part is sticking to the plan once you have it. The hardest part is not getting emotional and making impulsive, reactive decisions based on things that are entirely outside of your plan. And that right there, in my opinion, is one of the big differences between a trader that is consistently profitable and a trader that has all of the tools to be consistently profitable, but allows their emotional or lack of emotional intelligence, their lack of impulse control to, pull them down and inevitably blow their accounts. So with that said, let's hop over to the ES weekly chart. We will discuss some weekly levels and I will get you guys out of here. All right, friends. So here we have the ES weekly profile and you can see right here, not last week's low, but the weekly low from the week of September 18th was 43.57, which ended up being last week's value area high. So that's going to be, I think, the most important or very key level that I'm going to be watching, especially if we open up around here, is the reaction to this 43, call it 43.60, right? If we can move and hold above 43.60, very likely to get a test of 43.83, which is last week's high, which was actually made on Monday. So slight difference between NQ and ES. ES made its weekly high last Monday, and NQ made its weekly high on Friday. So that is something that is just a little bit of a bifurcation there between ES and NQ, but I would take that with a grain of salt. And this 43.80, 43.90 level is also confluent with the value area low from the prior week of September 18th. So once again, if we can get acceptance above this 43.85, 43.90 level, very likely to see further upside price action into this liquidity void area is what I'm going to call it. And it's basically the same liquidity void that we were looking at in NQ. I'm going to highlight that here on this NQ weekly profile as well. So the NQ liquidity void is between 15,030 and 127 here, but the single prints actually really stop at 250, 15,250, 15,220, 15,250. So the first, real move I would look for is if we get acceptance above last week's high, 15,060 on NQ, 43.83 on ES. Look for a move up to 44.20ish on ES and a move up to 15,125 on NQ. And if we get past that area, which would be 44.45 on ES, then we are very likely to see a move 100 points higher than last week's high, up to 44.8350. And once again, that likely gets us a move to 15,250 on NQ. So they move in tandem. ES and NQ, the structure from a price action perspective is very, very similar almost every single day. But where you will find the biggest differences in how price moves itself. NQ is much lower liquidity. If you look at the bid and the ask on NQ, for example, you're going to see less than 10 contracts. A lot of the time, less than 5 contracts on either side on the bid and the ask. If you go over to ES, it's going to be 20, 30, 40, 50 contracts on the bid and the ask at any given time. So NQ is a bit more violent. It's a bit more erratic. But if you know how to handle that, if you know how to trade, if you understand and are familiar with NQ's personality, there is immense opportunity, as there is with ES. But I think that these different instruments cater to different trader personality types. So that is something for you guys to consider as well. If you've been trading NQ and you're struggling, you feel like you're a bit more impulsive with NQ because of the way it moves, try to trade ES for a little bit. And conversely, if you've been trading ES and you feel like you are waiting a long time for trades to play out and, you're looking to basically figure out whether or not you're wrong on a trade a little bit quicker, NQ might be worth exploring. I trade mainly NQ. I do trade a little bit of ES, but I am, even more familiar with NQ because it has kind of been my main squeeze for at least the past few years. So with that said, keep an eye on these levels that I have mentioned. At the very least, as I always say, mark off these levels, watch and wait for price to get there, and simply see what happens. You will very likely be able to combine these market profile levels with your own trading strategies that you are currently using, or if you don't have trading strategies, you can use ours in our Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, which coincide perfectly with market profile analysis, if I do say myself. So with that said, my friends, I'm going to wrap the video up here. I want to first and foremost thank you guys, as always, for taking the time to watch this content. If you do like what you see and you find value in this stuff, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and click that bell notification to be notified every single time that we post videos here on the Trading Network YouTube channel. If you would like to learn more about what we do at the Trading Network, including what takes place inside our private community, check out our website, thetradingnetwork.io, where you can purchase access to our most popular offering, the TTN Pro Trader Bundle, which includes lifetime access to our private community, where we live stream our trading every single day starting at 9:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. We trade the very strategies that we teach in our Fundamentals of Futures Trading course, which you also receive in the Pro Trader Bundle. And last but not least, you also receive our proprietary indicator package, which coincides with the strategies in the Fundamentals of Futures Trading course that we are trading once again on live stream every single day in our private Discord community. So if you guys have any questions about the Pro Trader Bundle, you can feel free to reach out, leave a comment down below, hit us up on Instagram at the.trading.network, or you can shoot us an email at info@thetradingnetwork.io. And if you are interested in a more one-on-one tailored and specifically catered program to your strengths and weaknesses as a trader, I also offer one-on-one mentorship programs in the form of a 4-week and a 10-week program. And just like the Pro Trader Bundle, if you guys have any questions about our one-on-one mentorship programs, feel free to shoot us an email, a DM on Instagram, drop a comment down below, or you can also click the link down below to schedule a free 15-minute consultation with me to chat with me a little bit and see if one-on-one mentorship would be a good fit. So if you guys have questions about anything that I have mentioned in this video, please reach out. We are prompt to respond. We respond on all of our social channels. We respond on Facebook, Instagram, email, you name it, and we will be here to help any way that we possibly can. Thank you guys one more time for taking the time to watch this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and I hope you have a great trading week ahead. Cheers.